Welcome to Foundation Friday. The dedication and covenant of silent unity was signed on December 7th, 1892 by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, founders of the Unity movement. It is unlikely when they signed this covenant that they had any idea how far-reaching unity would be as it evolved into the church we know and love today. We invite you to join us as we explore and share some of the original ideas, teachings, and writings of the men and women who created the foundation of the Unity Church.
Hi, thank you for joining us today for Foundation Friday. Today, I'm going to share with you something that came from Unity Magazine. This was from September 1891. And again, Unity Magazine, the old issues of the archives are available to you at truthunity.net. You can upload the PDF files of so many of these old magazines and books and readings, an awful lot of what the original founding parents, fathers and mothers of Unity wrote was never copyrighted. They wanted to share it with the world. So a lot of the old books, the old magazines are available free of charge for you to enjoy. This one really caught my eye, and I will tell you why as we're reading it. For one thing, this 1891 magazine has not been rewritten. The people at Unity Village working in the archives are working very hard to make all these old magazines available to you, but sometimes their copies are not very good and not real readable. So they take pictures of the magazines and upload them to a PDF. And this magazine was one of those. So I spent an insane amount of time trying to translate this in a form that I can share with you. I have great respect for the wonderful staff at Unity Village working so hard on this. So this is the name of the article is called Suggestions to Silent Unity Societies. And before I read this, I want to kind of give you a little history lesson on Unity. You may or may not know that Unity, the movement, actually started as a group of prayer circles. Both Charles and Myrtle Fillmore had spectacular, just incredible and well documented healings that came about by their prayer practice. And they had learned affirmative prayer. So often before that, prayer was a matter of beseeching. Please, God, if you do this, I'll never do that again, kind of thing. And they learned instead to empower every cell in your body and to visualize health and perfection. And when they saw the results, of course, they wanted to share it with the world. And it started very slowly, just groups of friends. They would get their friends together. People would say, Charles, you're walking so much better. How did that happen? And he would invite them in to a prayer circle, and they called them Unity Societies. And this is actually directions to start your own, which is something I've really been thinking about doing in my own home. Of course, now I'm in Tennessee and there isn't a Unity church near me. And we've seen how much prayer works. So that was a lot of explanation. I'll get into the article a little bit. Suggestions to Silent Unity Society. Start a society at once. If you have but two persons to begin with, that's fine. Do not seek numbers, but harmony in those that you meet. Meet regularly every Tuesday night and the Spirit will eventually draw to you those desired. So, what they're saying is, even if it's just you and one other person, start doing this. And as you do it, visualize people being drawn to you, and they will be. Two persons in perfect harmony will do the work of spirit more effectively than 100 in discord. Begin with music and sing frequently during the entire time of the meeting. Well, now I am not a singer. Well, I am, but I don't usually burden other people with my singing. My voice is not well practiced. So, how do you begin with music? Well, what that made me think of are the meditation meetings that we have at Unity Church of El Cajon every Wednesday. We start the service, the meditation service, with the time of music. Sometimes it's Tibetan monks humming, sometimes it's piano, sometimes it's just spiritual. It could be anything, but we start in a time of silence with that music playing. And it also says to sing frequently during the entire time of the meeting. Now, I know you probably have a much better voice than I do, trust me, but I can sing songs like Row, Row, Row Your Boat, right? Which I think is one of the most spiritual songs. And we could even do rounds of that to have singing going on in your meetings. So if you're following this guideline for starting a unity, I've forgotten what they called it, a unity society, then maybe you can find your own way to make music a part of it, to bring it to life. We know that hymns and singing is a form of prayer, and it's a wonderful way to connect and lift the energy in the room. It says immediately after each song, hold in the silent for a moment some thought of truth. You cannot overdo this feature of the meeting. It is always uplifting and harmonizing to hold in unison some high spiritual thought. Speech is silver, silence is golden. So, some spiritual thought, if it's a healing circle, that thought might be, we are perfect in God, or God is perfect in us. And that could be a true and wonderful spiritual thought. The early part of the evening may be passed in a discussion of matters spiritual. When the clock strikes 9, go into the silence and hold in consciousness a few moments. Be still and know that I am God. Now, I have no idea why they said 9 o'clock in the evening is the time to start that. I don't think it matters if it's 9, if it's 8, even 7 o'clock if you're doing it earlier. I believe what's important in this is having it the same time every time you meet. Then, after music, hold the class thought for a month in unison for a few moments. So, what they're suggesting is that every month you have a class thought, some particular truth that the whole class is envisioning. Now, Charles Fillmore also did the 12 powers. So, if you're doing this, you might hold a thought that has to do with one of the powers, and you could really do any truth thought that just kind of occurred to me. Let me see, where was I? In holding these universal thoughts, let your consciousness go out and take in all the minds of men. Feel that you are talking to every soul in the universe, and that all are listening to your call. This mental drill will center your thoughts, and those of you who are spiritually alive will sense the vibrations of the unity spirit. Then is the time to do effective work. Take up those you desire to help and hold them in thought by name separately, always saying to each, in the name of divine unity or Christ Jesus. As you prefer Jesus, that's fine. It vibrates the mental atmosphere. So this is kind of the directions on starting your own silent unity society. And that might all sound pretty crazy, but Charles and Myrtle Fillmore used to do healings of people they never met through this process. People would write to him and say, oh, this person needs this. And the whole group in their living room would see this person, whether they knew him or not, as a divine spark, healed and whole in Jesus, in God. And they did miraculous healings from people everywhere. So I'm hoping you'll be inspired to start your own silent unity community. And please let us know in the notes, in the comments, if you do this, if you're looking to do this, if you're interested in starting a silent unity community in your own home. Thank you so much for joining us today for Foundation Friday. Tune in next time for something completely different. And God bless you.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.